Okay, so what's the live link?
I'll give it to you. Hold on.
And there's a chat in this too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but that chat is just for.
I know, but to give us the live link.
Yeah. Hold on. Oh, come on, YouTube. So everything was going nice and smooth. Oh, here it is. Make sure you guys mute that one.
And that's the one you're going to close anyways, once we're done. So you're going to go to this link, and once we show you what to do, you're going to close that tab because you don't want it open running two videos at the same time. But definitely mute it immediately because otherwise there'll be two audios going.
Jennifer's here already.
Yeah. Okay, so go to that one, and then where there's 3 dots over in the chat on the side, you're going to click those, and it says pop the chat out.
Okay.
Click that, and see how it makes a new window just for the chat?
Yep.
Now you can close that tab we opened for that.
Gotcha.
It's gone. And then it's a new window, so you can just click it, and you can keep it open over the one where us 4 were talking, and then you don't have to have 2 videos going. Does that make sense? Kara? Okay. On the second tab that got opened because you clicked the link, right? You saw the link in the chat on this window, right?
Yeah, it says group chat up in the corner.
Yes. There's 3 dots next to the smiley face in the chat. You see them? Not on the window we're on, but the one you opened, the new one. The new tab that got opened when you clicked the link.
Okay.
Okay, there's 3 dots next to the smiley face at the bottom of the chat.
Oh, at the bottom.
Yeah, click those 3 dots, and then there's a pop-out chat option, so click that.
I don't see dots. I see a smiley face.
Right next to it, there's 3 dots. So just click next to it, it'll probably pop it out.
It says choose links. There's like a triangle that says choose links. But there's no dots.
You're still on the first page. You gotta click that link.
Yeah, not the chat that's on this tab where we're talking right now. When you click the link that Gladys put in that chat, did you click the link? Click the link, it'll open a new tab for you. On this tab where we're talking right now.
Okay.
When you click the link that Gladys put in that chat, did you click the link?
Yes.
Okay.
Now it's down to like a regular YouTube.
Click the link, it'll open a new tab for you.
Yeah, you're in the right spot. Now I'll go over to the side.
Now on that, put in that chat. Did you click the link?
Yes.
On that second tab, mute that. So you
Regular
don't
YouTube.
click the link, it'll open a new tab for you.
Yeah, you're in the right spot. Now I'll go over to the side.
Now on that, put in that chat. Did you click the link?
Yes.
On that second tab, mute that.
Regular YouTube.
I know, it's too many voices.
That's what I'm laughing at. And it's voices from like 10 seconds ago.
I know.
YouTube.
I know, it's too many voices.
That's what I'm laughing at.
Oh Lord, I've got us messed
Voices
up.
from like 10 seconds ago.
I know. I know, it's too many voices. Directly under the video is the link to that video on the second tab.
Ooh, I had to mute her. Okay, Kara, on that second YouTube video that you see, under it, you're going to see where you can raise the volume to that video, and you can turn off the volume.
You want to turn it off.
Did you see my screenshot?
You want to turn it off. You want to turn it off.
thing is?
Did you see my screenshot?
No. I see a screenshot, yeah.
You want to turn it on. You want to turn it on. You want to turn it on. Did you see my screenshot? See my screenshot?
I see it.
Woo!
You want to turn it on. You want to turn it on.
Oh, my Lord.
Screenshot. See my screenshot. See my
I see it. I see it.
I don't think she sees it. Kara, go ahead. Oh, she left. She's gonna come back, I guess.
Was my screenshot coming through?
Yeah, your screenshot is coming to me. Thank you.
I think it was too much with the, because there was two
Too many voices.
audio. I think she was going like,
Maybe we should just have her come on and not worry about the second, because we can always read the questions for her.
Mm-hmm.
true.
We're just having some tech issues. We'll start in a few minutes. We're going to wait for Kara. You want to message her on Facebook? Yeah. Oh, there she comes.
Oh. Oh no, she's back to the troll.
Oh, you got everything screwed up.
You're a troll.
Turn on your camera, boo.
Remember last time you went to the gear and then you made the, instead of default, you chose the...
Yep.
It was on the communications tab instead of default. I think that's when it was, right?
Yeah.
Instead of default, mine is on communications, but I don't know what your all's are set at.
It's supposed to be communication.
Okay. Yeah, so on that tab, I mean on that, when you click the gear where it says communications, or not, yeah, where it says, well, the third one down for the sound or whatever it is, instead of default, do communications. The top one should be your camera setting. The second one is your microphone, which is, for mine, is the webcam as well. And then the third one down, click it. If it's default, change it to communications.
I'm not seeing any of that.
The gear's at the top.
Is your camera off?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Well, it couldn't be if you can hear me.
Well,
you could have the camera off and just have the audio.
You think hers is blocked like mine was earlier? Maybe she has
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
far.
might be, but it wasn't the other day when we tried this, and then we had to get her to get the picture to come up.
Oh, tech issues.
Yeah, they're so much fun, aren't they?
I'm telling you.
So much for being ready.
At the top where the little camera icon is, does it say camera off, turn camera off, or does it say turn camera on when you hover over it?
I don't see any of that.
When you
Hover up on the screen all the way to the address bar, almost to the address bars, right under it. You're going to see a pop-up come up.
What has a microphone, a camera, volume, you know, little icons.
The address bar.
You can see ours though, right? You can't see any of ours?
Nope.
In the address bar, all the way to the right, is your camera icon over there? Does it have a red line through it?
No.
No, so that one is okay
I
then.
don't see any kind of.
Okay, so did you click the gear though at the top of the window?
I don't see a gear.
Okay, if you take your mouse, go all the way up to the top, almost to the address bar, the little things should kind of show up.
Right there. Okay.
Click the gear, and then the third. Oh, there you are. Well, she's back. Okay. So
Oh my God.
we can either explain this to you here so that you don't have double sound going to make it like ah. Under each YouTube video, when a YouTube video plays, there's always the little volume that you can choose just directly under a YouTube video where you can make it louder or turn the volume off or whatever. Do you know what I'm talking about? Whenever you watch a YouTube.
Yeah, but I'm not in that kind of mode.
Yeah, I know. What I'm saying is, do you recall that when you go to watch a YouTube, at the bottom there's that little volume part? Okay. The link that we gave you to open the second tab for the tab that everybody else is seeing, that one immediately, as soon as it opens, you need to go there and mute it, turn it off so that you're not hearing sound from it, so that way you don't have double sound going at the same time, which is why it sounded really stupid before. You know, because you only want the sound from this, because otherwise it's kind of like getting feedback, or you know, because it echoes essentially because it's delay. You understand?
It says like control room.
No. When you click the link to open the new tab before that Gladys gave you for the live version that everyone else is watching, because everyone else isn't in this version that we're in right now.
Okay.
They're on the YouTube version, you know, that looks like a YouTube page.
Right.
Where we're not. Okay? So you can either not have the chat, not see the chat, or we can try to talk you through getting that open to pop out the chat, which is what we're going to do. But to do that, you have to click the link, open it up, immediately turn the volume off on that YouTube video.
Okay, right now. Oh.
So you have to pop the chat back out on this one to get the link, though.
I've got chat.
Okay, so you click the link Gladys gave you, but immediately when it opens the tab, go to the bottom of that video right there and mute that video.
That link isn't there anymore.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, it's probably because she came back. That's why.
Yep. Sorry.
That's okay.
There it is.
Okay, so click that.
And immediately mute the tab it opens right under the video. That's okay.
There it is.
Where's the mute? Okay, so click that.
And immediately mute the tab it opens right under the video. That's okay.
There it is.
Where's
There's a little sound icon. You just click it. It'll mute it immediately if you just click the sound icon.
Little speakerphone looking thing right underneath the video.
Do you see it? When you hover your mouse over the video, you can see a little speaker next to the pause button, right there, the pause icon. She's muted. Did you mute her?
Yeah, because it was just too much echo.
All right. Did you click it yet, Clara? Okay.
Okay. Hover over your picture and unmute yourself.
I don't think you can't unmute her?
No, it won't let me. Go up where the gear was. Remember where the gear was on the first screen?
On the screen that we started on. Go where the gear is. All the way to the left is a microphone. See at the top? There's a microphone, there's a camera icon where the gear was at the top on the first screen that we were all on. You want to click the microphone to make sure that you're not muted.
There you go.
There you go.
I think so.
It still has line
There,
through.
there we go. Got it.
All right.
All right, you got that part. All right, you're muted on the second tab. Wonderful. Go to the other tab, and then we're going to show you where to pop the chat out. Okay? Ignore the chat in this window for the moment. Okay? Go to the second tab that looks like a YouTube page that opened when you click the link.
It says, I have one that says Comma Club Seller.
Exactly. All the way on the right, underneath the chat area, there's a smiley face
Where you
Where
can
you- where you normally would enter what you're going to type in the chat.
Right.
Right next to that is 3 little dots.
Oh,
Okay?
there's no dots. I have a smiley face and a triangle that says choose link.
Huh, I wonder why she doesn't have dots.
I don't know.
The smiley face and triangle showing up on the not YouTube. Are we on the right page? The tab.
Oh yeah, are you looking at the chat on the first tab that we were all on? Don't look at that chat. That's not the chat. The chat we're talking about is the second one that opened when you clicked Gladys's link. It took you to the YouTube page.
Right.
Right. This is a Hangout page. The other page is an actual YouTube page.
Okay.
Right. Go to that page.
Okay.
And you see the chat that you normally would see when you're watching the videos normally and putting things in the chat.
Yep. And there's 3 dots.
Click the 3 dots.
I did.
And then it says pop out chat.
Yep.
Click that. Okay. Did it pop out? Wonderful.
Yep.
Now close that second page, the YouTube page. Just close that tab.
Okay.
Is it closed?
I think so.
Okay. So now you just stay on this page, the Hangout page that we're on, and down below you can click and bring that chat on top of it. It'll just stay on top as we talk, and then you can type in the chat to answer people or whatever, that if they're asking a question specifically to you, you can answer, or or say it out loud, obviously, but
Okay.
you could participate in the chat at the same time. It's just when you have 2 tabs open for the video at the same time, it slows down the bandwidth, and it makes for a delay, and it's harder to keep up when we're on this side of it if you don't do it this way. So
I'm not sure.
So do you see?
Do I sound?
Nope.
Oh, I do.
I'm getting it.
Not to me.
I sound like Darth Vader.
Oh, there it went.
There we went. You're good. All right. I think we're ready to start. So sorry for the delay, everybody. When you bring in real sellers who aren't used to, the technology, it can be a little difficult for them. But that's what this show is about, is bringing real sellers. So welcome to the Comma Club, Real Seller Story, Code 1. Like I was saying, it's about everyday people who have a Comma Club, which is $1,000 or more in sales per month, or are working towards it. We wanted to showcase, real sellers, real stories of people in the trenches getting it done and making it happen. We felt that it was important to focus on and give a voice to the small to medium sellers who we can all identify with. So in other words, this show is about you guys. The eBay, Amazon, Etsy, Bonanza, seller community. The sellers who are working every day to achieve and maintain and increase their sales. Today we have Russ from Digital Thrift, and we have Kara from
KJ Treasure Connection.
from what?
KJ's Treasure Connection?
Yes, from KJ Treasures Connections. They're gonna talk to you guys about. Everyone is echoing. Really? All right, hold on. Hold on. We might have to put on some headphones. Hold on. Maybe it's me. It's usually me when we echo. All right, how about now?
Sounds better.
Sounds better? All right.
I didn't get any echo before, but...
All right, so we're going to start with Russ today. Russ, you had sent me, well, you left me a comment in one of the YouTube videos, and you had said that you had applied the one-day sales and you achieved to make $265 within 15 sales within that one sale period.
Just July 4th.
The July 4th, yes. And that you used some of the things that you didn't know about optimizing your store. And so, I want you to talk about that, exactly, what you did. But, first tell us how you started selling the who's, what, when, where of Russ and the whole eBay thing, how you got started.
That would be more than you bargained for. To say, I started eBay because I didn't. Real jobs weren't really my forte. I have somebody would say I might have authoritative issues. I don't like working for people. So I was looking for something that I could do myself and be my own. So I was in college, and I did it kind of part-time, few items here, a few items there. And then about last year, I was working a full-time job, but every evening when I come home from work, I would list some items. I got up to probably about 250 items, selling anywhere from $500 a month. And then in December, I left my full-time job and I started doing eBay full-time. And in December, January, February, or March, I was doing about $2,000 to $3,000 a month. And then after that, it just dropped off. I was doing back down to like $800 to $900, maybe $1,200 a month. And that's when I found Gladys's video. I was looking to see if other people were having the same slow sales and what I could do to try to. I was already doing Pinterest and Twitter, eBay collections, doing good titles. I optimized everything for mobile. I just wasn't getting sales. It was really, really slow, and I even doubled my listings. I was listening to people say, list, that's going to help generate sales, and nothing seemed to work. And I guess on July 4th, I've run sales before, but I decided I was going to run a sale, but I was going to market the fact that I was going to sell. So I went in, I made a couple little graphics saying July 4th sale, everything, 42% off. Of course, I did what Gladys said. I went in and bumped everything up 26%. So it was really about a 26% sale, that looked a lot better, saying 42%. And then about every 3 hours, all day long, I would blast my social media accounts with my little graphic saying, I've got a set and have a list. My store, I'd tweet a couple of items that was on sale, and I not within 2 hours, about each time after I post on social media, I would just boom, boom, boom. And a lot of times it would be the exact items that I tweeted. I'm not muted.
Gladys, you're muted.
Hello?
There you go.
All right. So, you know, why am I getting echo?
So now you're getting echo.
Yeah.
I'm getting it.
All right. Can everybody mute themselves and see if that helps? All right. So, you know, Russ found the video. He took some of the advice that I gave. He also used social media to help get his sales going, and I think that's awesome. I think when you apply the things that you learn, you actually see results, and I'm happy that you found the video and got some results, Russ. You know, you had said that there were some things about optimizing your store that you didn't know, so you want to talk about that and tell us exactly what you did.
I went in and I went to 2 places where you click on your username and it takes you to your user profile. And I had both of those. I had it filled out, but it wasn't keyword optimized. There wasn't really the different things that I have in my store. It was just kind of a brief little synopsis. So I went in and I put in keywords like I sell a lot of shoes and sneakers and hats and the stuff that I sold a lot of. I made sure to put those keywords, and then the specific kind of products within that I added in there. And then I also went to my store page, and I did a similar thing there, except for I was able to do quite a bit more because it gives you more space there. So I just kind of did a rundown. I left what I had originally, which kind of introduces my store, and then I just kind of I put keywords for pretty much everything I had. I put all the main categories that I sold in, and then I went in and put specific keywords within those categories. So say I have shoes, I went in and I put, well, I have athletic shoes and walking shoes and tennis shoes and trail shoes. And then some of the brands that I always have in stock, I always have Nike, so I put Nike and Brooks running shoes. I always have at least 20 of each of those in my store, so I made sure to put those keywords into that little area in your store where you get to describe your store, I guess is what it is.
Yeah, it's the store description.
So it's actually, let's see if I can. So I don't know if that's showing up, but I actually have like a huge paragraph of the keywords from all the stuff that I generally carry in my store.
That's good. See, he filled it out.
Did that show up?
Yes.
And then another thing that kind of sparked when I share on social media, I made sure to make sure my social media posts with my items were keyword heavy that would help people find the items when they're searching on social media for whatever else. If they type in those keywords, hopefully my post will pop up. There's not enough analytics for me to tell if it does or not, but I figured it couldn't hurt the situation. So
exactly. So, you know, he also used social media, like you heard him, and I've always told, you know, you guys, don't depend on eBay for traffic alone. You definitely want to use, you know, Pinterest and Twitter and Facebook to help you drive that traffic. You know, there are sellers that are still writing descriptions and titles just for eBay, and you really need to, you know, start writing those titles and descriptions and filling out those item specifics, because you want to drive that traffic from Google and Google Shopping. And then when you start doing social media, since your listings are optimized, you know, those listings are going to work harder for you. Because, you know, you're working hard to put up those listings. Those listings better be working just as hard as you are to drive that traffic. So, you know, you did awesome, Russ. You know, you did a little graphic. You put up your keywords using the social media. And what was the increase that you saw?
And I'll say, yeah, so the past 31 days, I've maybe listed 10 to 12 items, and at one point I would list anywhere from 10 to 30 items a day every day, and wasn't seeing. So I haven't done that at all in 31 days, and my sales were up 61% from doing nothing but social media and advertising.
And had you listed every day, it would have been through the roof, you know. So you guys, if you guys aren't doing social media, I definitely recommend it. Is there anything else that you wanted to?
I will say that I always like. I'm a tinkerer. I always like to tinker with things. So I find my sales are best when I'm always doing something. So running a sale or advertising on social media, I call it the tornado. I just like to get going real fast and just set it in motion and see what happens. And when I do that, my sales are always better than if I'm just listing and then feeling like I've done what I need to do, and except the sales are awful. But when I start just stirring the pot and doing all kinds of things, I don't know what's working, but if you put enough things in motion, something's eventually going to start working.
And if you guys remember and watched the videos before, in one of the videos I said you need to show up for work. If you show up for work, and you know, showing up for work doesn't mean that you just listed some stuff and that was it. Run a sale, list some stuff, do some social media. All those things in conjunction together will drive the traffic. And you're going to see results. And that's why he finds that when he's tinkering in his store and doing something in his store, you know, a little bit of everything, he sees the traffic coming in. And obviously, with the traffic comes the sales. So now you've heard it from me, and now you've heard it from Russ. And by the way, this is the first time I've ever talked to Russ. He left me a comment in one of the videos, and it was the "Why are my eBay sales so slow?" video. And you know, I shot him up a message, and I said, "Hey, do you want to be on my show today?" And he was like, "Sure." So, real person, just like you guys. If he can make it work, you guys should have no problem. So now we're gonna bring on Kara, and Kara's gonna tell us, you know, her stories, her who, what, when, where, and why of Kara and eBay. And she's got a great story and a great sense of humor, so this should be a lot of laughs, guys. So
she sells on Etsy, too.
Yeah.
She sells on Etsy, too.
Oh, and she sells on Etsy.
Very little. So can you hear me, or do I sound like Darth Vader?
No, you sound great.
Okay. Well, I am Kara, and I am an eBay addict. And the way that I know that I'm an eBay addict is I have a panic attack when I hear bubble wrap being popped. When I receive a gift, I pay more attention to the size of the box and what I can ship in it than I do to what's in the box.
That's me.
I tremble with excitement every time I hear a cha-ching on my phone, and I have to look at it. If I'm driving, I have to pull over. And my home has become a warehouse. I no longer have a guest room, so if anyone's coming to visit, they better bring a blow-up bed. But I started selling on eBay in 2008. I never intended to be on eBay. I didn't go looking for it. The only computer I could operate was at work, where we had a corporate intranet rather than doing things on the internet, which I had been trained to use, and it was a lot different. I was running a night crew in my store. I was the co-manager there, and I was running a night crew for the holidays, and the productivity on my crew just like bottomed out, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. So I snuck into the store at 2 a.m. one night, and much to their surprise, I got a lot of deer in the headlights looks. Much to their surprise, and my surprise too, I discovered two of the ladies were back in the office, in my office, on my computer, and I asked them what they were doing, and they said, "We're checking our eBay sales." And I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "So you're selling things on eBay?" And they said, "Yeah, kinda." And one of them started to cry, and she said, "Are we fired?" "Are you going to fire us?" And I said, "No, not until you teach me how to sell things on eBay." So that's how I began. I started going to estate sales, and that was fine and dandy. I had a really good time doing that, with the exception that somebody had to die for the sale to happen. So I decided that I was getting customers that were like a one-shot sale, and that customer wasn't coming back. I needed a way to get repeat customers. So I looked for products that would be consumable and replenishable. Things that they would use and have to come back and get more of, and things that I could get more of to sell to them again. So that's when I hit upon the idea for bingo supplies. Because at that time, there were only like 4 other people doing bingo supplies. My sound still?
Sounds good.
Okay, because I'm getting distortion. So I started selling bingo supplies. That went quite well. That's actually still the backbone of my store. I sell a lot of bingo supplies, and I have a good customer base for that. I ship a lot of them to Australia. Apparently, there's not a lot to do in the outback, so they play bingo. I've sent them to Denmark, Great Britain, every place. Lots to Canada because I'm here at the border, being here in Michigan. So I sell consumables, replenishable. The next thing I try to do is giftable. So when Russ Berry liquidated, I bought $4,000 worth of gift items, and that has paid me back like tenfold. Third, I'd go for collectible, both new and used, and now I'm branching out into home essentials such as tablecloths and kids' home decor, because I know from my retail years that kids' home decor will sell before anything else will. People will buy their children things for their rooms. So I sold part-time, getting distortion. I sold part-time for a bunch of years, and then in November I decided I was going to take an early retirement. So I took an early retirement in November of last year, and so now I'm full-time on eBay, and I've seen my sales like quadruple since I started doing it full-time. And that's thanks to the help of Mary and Gladys and a few other people along the way. And that's my story.
Thank you for sharing that, Kara. You definitely a trip. I love Kara. She's look at Russ is like, oh my God. You know, Kara is in the groups, and she's got such a great sense of humor that, you know, she can turn a rainy day completely upside down for you. And she's willing to learn, as you guys, you know, saw from the start of the video. So we kind of popped her YouTube cherry here today, her live video cherry.
I screwed up your thing.
No. You know, I wanted to ask you, Kara, and Russ, you too, how much, you know, because everybody's number is different. How much do you guys feel that you have to make a month before you go full time? Like, what was your guys' number?
You're about to get a spiel here. I went full time too quick. You know, they say that you need to have so many months of money in reserve, this, that, and the other, and I said, well, that doesn't apply to me because I'm me, and I'm going to go do what I want, and I did it, and it gets tight. The thing is, at the beginning, I was making just what I needed, which was my bills come out to about $1,800 a month, and I was making $2,000 to $2,200, and I was like, oh, this works great. Well, then you come with you get a couple of tight months and you don't got any reserve. I wish that I had quit now and not 6 months ago, my full-time job. I think that when you think you're ready, give it another at least 2 months to make sure that it's gonna stay the way it is. Because I quit at Christmas, which in 1 week after I quit my job, I sold $1,500 in a week, and I was, oh, this is gonna be great. When I'm full time, I'm gonna be making all kinds of money. Well, Christmas, this is kind of like when there's a lot of sales at Christmas, and then right after that, you get the lull at the beginning of summer, and it's just like, I say that if I could when I'm making between $2,000 and $3,000 a month in sales, I don't waste a lot of money. So $3,000 gross, and that's all I need to cover what I need to survive. I don't have family, I don't have children, so that makes a big difference. I pay my bills, and that's about all the expense that I use. So I don't know. I'd say that when you think you're ready, give it a couple more months. Make sure that things are going to stay the way they are, because eBay's up and down, and make sure you've got some kind of reserve in the bank, because a couple bad months and it gets
tight.
bad. Yeah.
What about you, Kara?
Well, I get Social Security and a pension, so eBay really is not my primary financial support. My house is paid for. I mean, my pension and my Social Security covers my needs, but I don't know. I think I wouldn't have been that brave if I didn't have the other financial backup. Because I know retail is fickle. I mean, it's seasonal, and it's quite fickle. Like you said, summertime, you have to save what you earn during the holidays, if possible, to cover any gaps in the summer. It takes a lot of extreme planning, and I probably would not have had the courage to just quit the job that I had, because I was making a lot of money.
Well, I wasn't making a lot of money, and it was quit my job, or I think it was getting to the point where my mouth wouldn't have stayed closed much longer, and the choice would have been made for me. So I just went ahead and took the dive.
I was reaching a point where my health was becoming an issue, because I was working 80 hours a week, anywhere from 65 to 80 hours a week. The stress was killing me. I was on 2 different kinds of blood pressure pills. I'm now off of one of the pills. It was killing me. So, and it had always been my goal to take an early retirement. So I took the plunge.
Me too. I like to joke that I retired at 27.
You know, for me, you know, I started just for pocket change, really. And then I lost my job, so then, you know, I was doing it to cover, you know, bills and stuff, you know, to help my fiance pay and stuff. And then, you know, when I lost my job, shortly after that, he lost his. So then I was kind of forced into it full time. And, you know, he got sick. And so I was trying to do eBay full time. I had the baby. I had him who I was caring for. It was definitely not an easy thing to do. You know, his medication alone was, you know, $500 a month. But I made it work. You know, I barely had time for anything other than take care of the baby, take care of him, take care of the packages list. You know, by the time I was done for the night, I was completely exhausted. You know, shortly after that, I'm going to say my memory's a little, I have memory issues, so forgive me if my dates are wrong, but I want to say it was 6 months after that, 6 or 8 months after that, I lost my fiance. So I found myself having to raise, you know, I still had Ashley, who was 16 at the time, 17. And I had Sarah, who was 2 years old. So, you know, I found myself having to take care of the kids myself. I didn't have a job because I was taking care of him. I had been out of work for over a year probably. And I really didn't want to go back to work because I didn't want to leave Sarah alone, you know, with a babysitter or whatnot, because she's got, you know, she has OCD and some anxiety issues, and I just didn't want to leave her with people who weren't going to understand her. So it was important for me to stay home and be able to provide for them. So yeah, I got thrown into it full time. I knew I could make money because I was, you know, I was already doing it. I just needed to buckle down, learn all, you know, all the processes, and just, you know, list and learn it, apply everything that I was learning. Most of everything that I learned from a few people, mostly from John Lawson. I'm sure some of you guys who are listening know who John is. You know, I stalked him. I stalked him all over Facebook, all over YouTube. Wherever he was, I was there. And I applied everything that I was learning from him and some of the other known names in the community, but mostly from John. And, you know, I found that every time I applied something that I learned, my sales would go up. You know, so it's all about applying what you guys learn. You know, I've given you guys tips on here before. I've done presentations for meetups, you know, via Skype, and I've, you know, shown you slides and stuff. Take that. Don't just listen to the information, but take that information and do something with it, because it's only going to help your sales in the long run. You guys got to remember it's 2016. It's not eBay 1999. It's not even eBay 2005. If you're not applying and constantly working and keeping up with all the changes, because every year there's going to be changes. I guarantee you 6 months from now, Google's going to change something, or eBay's going to change something. Something is going to change in e-commerce. And if you're not constantly keeping up with those changes, you're going to see your sales go down instead of up. And I know that summer is a bit of a slowdown, but it doesn't have to be. If you guys are constantly, like Russ said, he's constantly in his store tinkering, whether he's running a sale, doing promoted listings, doing social media, listing, all of that helps you to drive traffic from outside sources into your store. And I'm a fan of using social media. You know, Mary just started using the Markdown Manager, and she's seen results. Mary, why don't you tell us how you started on eBay?
Well, I originally started on eBay back in, it was like probably more than 10 years ago now. I sold a little bit then, but then I stopped selling for like almost 10 years, you know. But I've been back on now a little over 2 years, and you know, mostly full time. But I'm doing it because I wasn't able to go to work to find a job because I'm home as the main caretaker for my mother-in-law who has Lewy body's dementia. So so I had to be here. So I decided, you know, I needed something to to distract me from having to only do that, to, you know, give me some kind of challenge and mental challenge and whatever. And I always enjoyed doing it anyway. So, and I still had at the time quite a bit of things that I had bought before that had just been sitting there. So I decided to go ahead and you know, start listing them. Now some things, because of overtime, some things weren't worth selling anymore. And that's the other point I was going to bring up, is that things change all the time. Just because you think, oh, this is really worth a lot of money. I'm gonna sell it, and you put it up for a certain amount of money. Even a month from now, the market can change.
Yep.
You know, what was collectible then may not be now, and you know, your price. You always have to continually look at your prices. Looking at, you know, the items that you have in general. Some things just become outdated that people just don't want them. It's a cycle. Sometimes you might have to wait another 5 years before all of a sudden people decide it's a new trend and they like them again.
Right. Trends go up and down. Yeah.
Which it's always a good idea to try to, in a little way, branch out and maybe add a little of this, a little of that here and there, so that you have a few other things bringing that, you know, those shoppers into your store, that items that you didn't think about carrying before, because they may not buy that item necessarily, but they may, like Russ was saying, you know, buy some other item that you have. So the traffic isn't about just the item you're trying to market, whether it's social media or wherever it is you're trying to market it, or if they're on eBay in the search finding your items. But I've done that a lot over the last 2 years, and it makes a big difference. You know, each time you add another new niche, as it were, or new category, let's say, of items that you maybe hadn't thought of before, it's going to bring in buyers that are looking for that probably may have not been looking for anything else you had before. So it does help expand your opportunities to get sales. But initially, when I started back 2 years ago, I wasn't doing that much. But now, on average, I mean, I do it as a supplement to income because my husband has a full-time job. So it's just to supplement that income to, you know, help pay or stock, essentially, like Russ was saying, having a backup so that there is money there if something comes up or happens. So I kind of use eBay for that. You know, that's my reason for you know, making the money with that, and I enjoy it. I mean, like I said, it's a challenge, and just, you know, and the social media part, you know, people you meet in the groups, and you know, you make new friends, and you know, because when it's a lonely job when you're just sitting here at home and you're not getting out and necessarily, you know, interacting as much, you know, outside of the home. So it makes you feel connected, at least, like there's, you know, someone else out there to talk to.
Right. Somebody that understands what you're doing.
Yes, exactly. So, and it's not that my family, you know, a lot of us, our family just aren't into it like we are. You know, I think Kara's told me before how, you know, her husband's like, yeah, right, whatever, you know. It's like, you know, mine too, and even my son gets it a little bit, and I can try to get him to help me with pictures sometimes, but it's short-lived, and then off he's gone to do something else. So, you know, as much as I'd love for them to help me, you know, I'm here doing it on my own.
The ways we'll get when you start talking about eBay, just people that aren't on eBay.
I mean, though my husband loves it when, like at Christmas especially, when it's busier, he's all, oh, got another cha-ching, got another cha-ching, because he gets it on his phone too, and he gets all excited. But it's like, and he loves the sourcing part. Everybody loves the sourcing part. Everybody loves to go shopping. That's the fun part. It's the work that happens after that it's hard to get, you know, help with. Especially free help that you're not paying or.
Okay, so Joe said that's why working hangouts are great during the day. Mary, can you keep your volume
down?
Yeah,
low already.
There, that's better.
Yeah, it was pretty low already. Now I can hardly hear you.
Oh. You know, Joe participates in the Facebook groups. And they do working hangouts, and it's basically everybody joins in a hangout, and they all, you know, greet each other and list and work while they're all on video talking to each other and stuff. And that's a great way to do it, you know, because it is a lonely job, and it's good to have somebody to talk to, you know, when you're listing something, like, and get advice. And that's a great way to find out about new niches too. You know, was it last week, Mary, that we talked about the buddy system?
I don't think, have we talked about the buddy thing?
Yeah,
What?
we have. I think it was
We
last week.
mentioned it, but I don't think we really went into it as much.
Well, why don't you go ahead and say what
Well,
that is?
yeah, because Gladys and I have been working together, doing listings and getting ideas from each other and everything, and so I thought I'd put it out there in the groups that we participate in mostly, which are in costs and these online selling tips, or in sellers helping each other, about the benefits of having someone else to hang out with and work with to get the work done, because there's that motivation aspect, and so I put a post in each of those groups for people to think about, and mostly it's especially in the Facebook groups, a lot of people. There's usually people you're familiar with that you interact with in comments that you can tell their personality, because obviously it has to be a good fit, personality-wise, schedule-wise. I mean, even though Gladys and I are 2 hours apart in time zones, kind of thing, we still make it work. I mean, neither of us sleep a lot, so that helps. But so we're up a lot,
Yeah.
But yeah, so but this is the overall benefits of that being able to connect with someone else when you are isolated like that, because the isolation obviously is not a healthy thing for a lot of people. I mean, granted, there's people that want to be isolated. See, now I'm getting feedback. I'm getting an echo. Anybody else hearing an echo?
Yeah.
I don't know what it's from. So, but that you cheer each other on when you get sales, or we go sourcing, and come back and show the other person, do show and tell. Look what I got! I got this new thing to sell, and can't wait for the person to get back because you want. And now we've actually started doing video things while the person's out sourcing to show them what do you think? Is this a good one? Is this a good one? And using the other person's knowledge to source.
Yeah.
So we're networking basically, so that it improves our sourcing.
Yeah, I'm learning a lot about home goods.
Yeah, because my store is Third Rock Home. I named it that mostly because I do sell a lot of home-related items. Though I had definitely branched out into other things that I hadn't before in the last couple of years, but then she hadn't. So I'm like, and she has limited space. So we've been talking about what kind of items she can add that don't take up a lot of space, that are lightweight to ship, because that's always a concern too. You don't want to buy a whole bunch of boxes of blend a blender or something that weighs more, that's going to cost a lot to ship. She has the benefit though of being mid-country, mid in the United States, where I'm one coast, and so a lot of times my expense is higher to ship because I'm so extreme on one coast versus the other. Those sellers that are in the middle have the benefit of the cost being less, even sometimes it's only maybe up to $2 to $5 less for shipping, but still that adds up over multiple sales. It would be a lot more for shipping. I myself do the free shipping module or whatever you call it. So I tried doing the calculated for a long time, and I just decided that I like the free shipping aspect. I figured out a way to essentially average it and calculate it into my price so that I don't have to be concerned about that. Yeah, some it's tight on, some you make a little profit on, some but overall I've covered myself, and it doesn't seem to be a problem for sales.
Yeah, and the amount of stuff that we learn from each other just by talking every day while we're listing is priceless. Mary brings a lot to the table, and I've learned a lot from her. Just that whole networking thing together has been invaluable for me. You know, like I said, I've learned a lot about, you know, different sourcing opportunities that I can do here from her, and vice versa. So we definitely, you know, suggest, you know, either the working hangouts like Joe suggested in chat, or finding a listing buddy. It'll definitely help you productivity, because let me tell you, Mary be up on my butt every day. And I'm on her when, you know, when we're feeling that is, I'm echoing. Oh, I don't know what to do here. Already got that. Hold on. Hold on. All right, how about now? Is that better? Yes? Okay, so I muted it, everybody, so that I don't get that echo. But, you know, I'm always on her, she's always on me, and the productivity for both of us has gone up. You know, Mary's got, you know, more listing than she's ever had. And we are using our goal sheets for the Comma Club. I don't know where mine is right now. I done lost mine. I don't know where mine is right now. I know I was filling it out and showing it off to her. But yeah, you know, having that person to help you keep you accountable is priceless. You know, because you have somebody on you constantly. You know, when you work at home, you get compliant with just, you know, I don't want to work, or I don't feel like it, you know. But when you have somebody on you, and you know you have to be accountable, especially with the Comma Club, you know, I don't want to be running the Comma Club and not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm telling you all what you're supposed to be doing. So, you know, that helps me keep me accountable as well. I'm up to, I forgot how many damn listings. I don't know where I did put my thing. But I want to say I'm at 62 listings already, and my goal was 162. So I'm probably gonna smash that goal, and I'm just gonna keep going. And there was other things that I put on there. So do you guys have any questions for Russ or for Kara? This is your opportunity to talk to, you know, sellers just like yourselves, and ask whatever questions you guys want. So I'll give you guys a minute to come up with your questions and post them in chat.
Or if there's anything, Russ, if you want to add anything to what Gladys just said, or.
Yeah, earlier she said something to the effect of, don't be afraid to try things out. And normally when you try stuff out, you'll see some good effects from it. But I also say, if you try something out and it doesn't work, it's not that big of a deal. You then bounce on, hey, I know this doesn't work, or now I can avoid doing that, and I'll find something else that does work. And as long as you're always tinkering with something, and you got to pay attention to the effects of, after you've done something, pay attention. Like, you run a sale, make sure you notice if your sales went up or down, and eBay kind of helps you with that. They've got a lot of analytics you can look at. But even if you're, say you're trying to put things on Twitter, kind of watch your effects after you've put something on Twitter. Like I was saying on that July 4th sale, almost 2 hours after I would post my little thing on Twitter, within 2 hours I would start getting sale after sale after sale. That was about the time that it took, and I would know that it was coming from that, because items that were selling would be the specific items that I had just tweeted out about 2 hours before. It just took that amount of time to work its way through the web. But I've done plenty of stuff that I didn't see any results, and I was like, okay, well, that doesn't work. I'll try it again in the future, and maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but I'll know one way or the other, as opposed to just sitting around hoping. There's no worse feeling than sitting around, man, I wish something would sell. I need money, and I'm sitting here and I'm doing nothing, and there's nothing I can do, and no sales are coming in. And I find that to be the worst feeling that there is. It's kind of a helpless feeling.
Gladys, you're muted.
I'm muted.
No, Gladys.
All right. So Thrifting Living wants to know if any of us use collections to increase exposure. I do. I'm a fan of collections. You know, for several reasons. Google crawls your entire profile page, including all of those collections, all the links in your collections. And when you do a collection, there is a space for you to write a blurb about the stuff that you are pinning on there, and Google crawls that. So make sure you watch one of the I think it was the Comma Club video, or it could have been the Why Are Your eBay Sales So Slow videos, where I show the collections and show why you should do them and how you should do them. It definitely helps increase visibility and traffic. Russ, do you use collections?
Yes, I do collections. That was one of the things I did go in after you showed that, was add the blurbs. I didn't know about the blurbs, but there's 3 buttons that I always click right after I finish listing an item, and they're right there on the page for you. There's the Pinterest button. I'll pin it, and it'll go. I have made boards that pretty much fit every category of the stuff I sell, and I'll pin it to that board. I'll click the Twitter button and tweet it out to my Twitter account, and then I'll hit the eBay Collections button, and I've created similar boards on my eBay collections similar to Pinterest. And those are the 3 buttons that I always click after listing without fail, because it takes maybe 3 seconds. Boom, boom. It's 6 clicks, basically. You click the button, and then you confirm. So that's what I always do.
Okay. Mary, do you use them? You're muted.
I haven't been adding to them lately. I need to go in and do something with them. But one thing I wish eBay would do is that when they're sold or they're old and they're not even existing anymore, I wish they'd take them out, because they number one, they limit how many are in a collection. At a certain point, they won't let you add any more.
Right.
So it's kind of like Pinterest. You have to go in there and continually have to clean them up, adds to the work. So I really wish they would take them out. Being that it's their platform, I really wish they would take them out when they're sold, or maybe after a certain length of time, like the time that normally things don't show up in shirts either anymore for solds. I wish, they would just kind of suck them back out of the collection so they're not there anymore, because that would be helpful. Because basically you get to a point, if they're too full, then you got to make a new one. Got to make another new one and another new one.
Kara, do you use collections? And you're muted, honey.
Am I muted now?
There you go.
Okay. I use collections a lot. I like the collections. Right now, though, I've noticed there's some kind of technical issue with them, because it'll say the item has ended and replace it, and if you click on the picture, it's still active.
Yeah, I noticed that yesterday.
Yeah, I was going through and taking everything out that said replace, and then I came to some of my items, because I had group items there too, but I saw my items. I said, that's not done. Yeah. And so then I started checking that out, and it was kind of messed up. But yeah, I like collections. Right, I do get traffic through it too.
Okay. So Jennifer wanted to know what social medias Russ was. Hold on. Mute you, Mary. All right. So Mary wanted to know. Jennifer wanted to know what social media Russ was using, and he already answered that. He uses Twitter and Pinterest and Facebook, right, Russ?
I did Facebook for a while, and that was one of the things that I noticed, that because of Facebook's algorithms, I got 0 traffic from Facebook, so I just stopped doing it. I'm not saying that other people wouldn't, but I didn't get any. It was just, I found it to be a waste of time.
Okay.
One thing that she was talking about collections and cleaning them out. That's one thing I do with Pinterest. Instead of deleting stuff that's sold, I'll actually go back in there and edit it to take it to either the category or my store. That way, these pins are still getting pinned. This way, when they click on it, it doesn't take them to a dead link, but it'll take them to something similar that they might want to buy from me.
I love this guy. He is working it. Bravo for you. Bravo, Russ, because you are working it. That is one of the things that I haven't mentioned it in a long time, but when I was really heavily doing Pinterest, I was always telling everybody, don't delete the pins because they're still getting repinned. What you do is you go in and you edit and you put the category link in there to that similar item so that they can see other stuff. It will help your traffic. I don't delete my Pinterest pins. You know, I just replace the link. So that's a great tip, Russ. Thank you for bringing that up.
The social media, I think that a lot of people don't think about or do so much because they do the big three, you know, Twitter, Pinterest, and Facebook. What a lot of people forget is Google loves Google. Google Plus, you put something on Google Plus, it'll be in Google search results really fast. If someone's searching for something in Google, you know, we've seen that happen with the selling groups we have on Facebook, that because we were putting things on our Google Plus and sharing them there, that if you did a search late, you know, within an hour even, if someone went and did a search, you would see that item show up in search. Google Plus, as well as, you know, anywhere that's somewhere that's visual. People forget about even places like they think it's, oh, that's old news. Tumblr. You put something on Tumblr. Tumblr, people are on there too, and they're following you. When we started the selling groups on Facebook, I started using Tumblr, which I hadn't before, and I've gotten a lot of new followers. And I mean, I mix it in with other content, which is something that a lot of people forget. They just spam their stuff, and nobody likes someone to just spam their stuff 24/7, kind of, you know, all the time. So you have to put other interesting content in there. It can be related to what you're selling, or just general content you think the people that are watching your channel or, you know, you're following you would enjoy. It doesn't always have to be exactly related to your business per se. You just have to watch it so it's not too, you know, out there and controversial necessarily. But that's grown my Twitter. That's grown, you know, everything immensely by adding the additional content. It should be the 80-20 rule for the most part on most of the social media. No more than 20% sales, and the rest of it should be other content that you're adding of value, so that people will want to come back and keep looking at to see what's interesting and new, and you know, for social media.
Yeah. Mary, this one's going to be for you because I don't use it. But so Luna wants to know, do you use immediate pay required option when using Buy It Now? I always hear of people waiting for someone to pay. I've had luck using the option. She was just curious about our thoughts.
I do. I use immediate pay. I know you don't. You allow them to have time to pay.
Yeah, I do that because with immediate pay they can combine sales, you know, purchases. I sell a lot of multiples, so I need to be able to combine their shipping. And with immediate pay, I can't do that. So that's why I don't use it. Russ, do you use immediate pay?
I don't. I don't have a problem with people taking. Back when I didn't have near as much listing, I wasn't selling the volume that I am now, I was more interested in the immediate payment. But now I generally have enough sales coming through that if somebody needs a day or two to pay, I'm okay with that. I'd assume have the sale and then pay in 48 hours than to lose the sale altogether because they didn't have the money. I'll have people all the time, I'm really interested in this, but I won't have my PayPal loaded until tomorrow evening. I have no problem with that. It's money that, an item that might have been sitting there for a while. This way it's sold and it's not paid for yet, but if they don't, I can just relist it. It's not that big of a deal to me.
Yeah, I do the same thing, and I also I have my settings set where if they don't pay within 2 days, they're gonna get hit with a strike, and eBay sends them that little message, and then I always find that they end up paying anyways. But it's all about having your settings set right, and if you're not selling, if you're not a big multiple seller, like I am, then there's you, I guess you have to play with it and see what works best for you. For me, it doesn't work. Kara, do you use immediate And you're muted, honey.
Yep, I know I'm muted. I do not, for the same reason that you cited, because I strive for multiple sales, and I do those promoted sales, buy one, get one, 20% off, or whatever. So if you buy two, 20% off. And I discovered that it doesn't work if you have it on immediate pay. No, I can't.
Gladys, you're muted again.
All right, so Thrifting Living wants to know, how do you promote your stuff on Google+? Well, you need to have a profile there set up. It's a social site just like Facebook. They do have business pages on there like Facebook does, the fan pages. So you need to have those, two things set up, and then you just copy your link and throw it into your business page. Let's see, who else?
And then you can gain followers if you haven't had a page yet. Follow other people that interest you. And usually, most people on Google Plus, you follow them, they'll follow you back. It takes a little while to build up, or go to a profile of someone either you know or that you have similar interests, or maybe a seller that sells similar things. See who they're following, who's in their circles. And follow a bunch of them, because then they'll probably follow you back as well. It's just kind of a networking connection kind of thing going on. And then as you get followers, then things that you post show up in their feeds. So it's the same way it works on Facebook.
Yeah.
One thing I can add about that, if you have a Gmail account, it's the setting is set up. If you have a Gmail account, you automatically have a Google Plus account. They create one for you when you create a Gmail account.
But the one thing on Google Plus you want to make sure you do is, make sure that you put some kind of image up there so that it's not just the generic, and so people see, on your personal profile, see who you are, kind of thing. And if you're making a business page, again, it's about branding. You need to, just like on eBay, you don't want a blank header on your store. You want it to represent what your store is, and that should carry across all social media. It should be pretty much the same, so that people and buyers recognize, oh, this is when they see it, they know who you are, and it makes a big difference, because otherwise it makes it look like you're not serious, that you're not trying to do this with a serious outlook on it in mind, to do it professionally and do a good job at it.
Rosalie wants to know, she sold an item to a brand new eBay buyer. Should she be worried about it? She has heard not to sell to new buyers. Rosalie, first of all, they had to open an account just to buy your item. Second of all, we all started at 0 feedback. Third point is that your item sold. So you should be absolutely ecstatic that you sold something, and you should not, waste your time worrying about whether they're going to pay or not. Everybody started at 0. Everybody. How would you feel if you started, selling today, you have 0 feedback and nobody bought from you? You'd never sell anything. It's the same thing with buyers. I don't care if they opened it up 2 seconds ago. their money is still green. It's still, you know, it's still going to pay my rent. So I don't worry about the whole myth about selling to new buyers. That's just, yeah, I wouldn't worry about it.
I'd also say that 3 of my biggest sales, money-wise, for one item, were from brand zero feedback sellers, and they all paid and nothing went wrong.
Yeah, yeah. Teresa, do you use File Exchange to upload your listings? No, I do not. Russ, no. Russ is shaking his head. No. Mary is. You don't use File Exchange? You're muted, Mary.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I missed part of that because my son was trying to talk to me.
Oh.
About using File Exchange. I really don't use it. I mean, as far as uploading listings or whatever, I use it at the end of the year to get all the information from my sales kind of thing. I want to get see what's what I sold and everything. Or no, do I use PayPal for that? I'm trying to remember. I've used it before. I know to download the CSV files, but I don't. I know there are some people that use it to add listings and upload in bulk and all that sort of thing, but I've never used it for that purpose. Just for information, otherwise, for my own purposes, but not for that. You're muted.
Jennifer says that the File Exchange is very complicated. The manual is almost 100 pages. Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't use any of those tools. I used to use TurboLister, but I find it. TurboLister is made for sellers that have under 500 listings. Once I reached that 500 listing, TurboLister just was crashing. It was the files were getting corrupt. I was losing listings. It was just it's too many bugs. It's for part-time sellers, very part-time sellers with under 500 listings. For me, I just use eBay, and that's it. It's just easier for me, and it's not competing with different programs, because eBay set up one way and then this program is set up another way, and it's just all that competition. It makes things go all wonky. I used to use Optiva 3 years ago now, maybe 4, and I stopped doing that because of the templates and not being mobile friendly. So yeah, I don't use any third-party anything. I am just using eBay, and that's it. Joe says TurboLister is very unreliable. Yep, that's right, Joe. It was just too many glitches. It just doesn't work for high volume sellers. Like I said, once I hit that 500 mark, everything just went berserk on me, and it was just hard to use. I was spending more time trying to fix all the mistakes and glitches that was happening than actually listing with it. So, I don't see any more questions. Does anyone use TaxJar for state taxes? No, I don't use TaxJar.
I did my taxes on the outside of a post office box, so no.
Okay. I don't. I'm trying to scroll back to make sure I didn't miss any questions.
I think software like TaxJar is helpful for those that do other channels, because like with Amazon, because of the whole Nexus thing going on, I think you need something else to help you deal with that. But if you're just doing eBay and you're a small to medium seller, it more than likely wouldn't be a requirement. I mean, even for me, because I'm in California, and California is so anal about when I file my sales tax, I have to do all these things for how much from this county and that county, and it's a pain. Whereas other people just file a flat percentage. This is how many sales I did in my state, and this is here you go, here's the money. But even with that, I don't feel like I have the need for extra software for it.
So Teresa wants to know, do any of you keep daily sales records outside of eBay, like on a spreadsheet? I don't use a spreadsheet. Russ?
Take this for what you will. I shy away from any kind of thing. I don't like to do any of it. I just at the end of the year I pay more taxes than I'm supposed to, because to me I'd rather have the time that it would take throughout the year to not keep up with it and pay the extra money at the end of the year. I just pay for taxes on my total number instead of keeping up with how much I paid for the item and stuff like that. I hate that takes the whole fun out of eBay for me, so I just pay the extra money at the end of the year.
Yeah, I haven't done the spreadsheet thing just because that's one more thing I have to learn, and I just haven't had the time to sit down with Jennifer. That's my spreadsheet queen over there. But I do want to learn how to do it. Mary, do you use a spreadsheet?
I don't. What I started doing was I have the Easy Auctions tracker that I bought, and you have to start it at the beginning of the year if you want to make sure you get everything in there, because it only goes back 90 days. So for me, I've just been updating every month, but it'll pull in everything about your eBay sales. It'll pull in the item title, the amount. It'll pull in the shipping cost. It'll pull in the buyer information. I mean, it pulls in everything, and it has a place for me to put the cost of goods sold, which is why I actually decided to get it, because I want to go in there and put all those values in, so it'll just keep it calculated for me, as well as keep all the other information for me all in one place. So that's something that is, can be useful. A lot of people use it for consignment as well, because there's other tools within it that are very useful as well for that. So I'm not a big one knowing how to make something like that myself. I know general stuff about using spreadsheets, so my hat's off to the person that made it, because it's very complex. It's really complex.
Yeah, Mary showed me that the other day. We did a screen share thing, and she was showing me everything that it can do, and I was really impressed with it. It's very easy to use, because there's only one thing that you have to input, which is your cost of goods, which is awesome for somebody like me, because I don't want to have to do anything else other than that. So I'm going to suggest that tool. Mary will put that link at the bottom of the description, so that if they want to come back, they can do it. Kara, do you use spreadsheets, or how do you keep track?
I do not use spreadsheets. To keep track of cost, and then when I do free shipping, I keep track of that too. I write little notes at the bottom of in the archived section, and it only retains like 90 days, so I print off completed sheets, and I have a stack of papers here and an envelope for tax time. It's rather primitive.
Well, it's whatever works, What works for one may not work for another person, so, that's just it. You've got to find what works for you.
Right. I do it on the invoices instead of, keeping the whole spreadsheet thing just scares me. But that tool that you mentioned, Mary, that's a great one. I really I was impressed by it. Somebody else, let's see. When do you suggest new sellers get a store? Once you have a few, sales under your belt, and you have enough listings. If you have over 50 listings already, you should have a store. I definitely am an advocate of eBay stores versus not having a store. It does get you more traffic. It gives you all these tools that you don't have without a store. So once you get the lay of the land and have those sales under your belt, and if you have 50 listings, it's time for you to definitely have a store. And I hope, Rebecca Knight, that you're selling internationally as well, because it's very easy.
The other thing about the store thing is that new sellers don't realize it, and even if you just had an account and you've been buying, that the seller portion of your account, if it's never been set up, you're becoming a new seller, and eBay is only going to allow you to do so much at first. They're not going to let you just wham bam upload 500 listings. They won't.
Right.
It takes time. You need to put some up, list them for a short time, a month. Then in a month, when they see that you've sold some, you've got good feedback, you call them, you say, okay, can I have some more? And you keep playing that game for a little while until they can see that you're trustworthy, because you're a reflection of the platform, and they're not going to just give away the farm to just anybody. So there's reasons for it. As a business, angle, eBay's being smart about that, because they don't want, someone who's going to, be a bad seller. They want to see an established, routine of how you handle the customers and all, the whole thing, before they're going to trust you enough to even if, because a lot of people will think, well, I've been selling for a little bit, and then they get a store and they say, oh, my store gives me X amount of listings. Great, I can put a whole boatload up. Guess what? You can't. Sometimes you can't, because you just started that store and your seller account portion isn't established enough. You will not be able to add as many listings as the store allows you. That's it's just another part of the process. You have to work the process and give it time. That's why, start with the basic store and establish yourself as a seller with eBay, and obviously with just in general, and then keep calling and saying, is it, are you going to lift that limit on me now, because I'm showing that I'm trustworthy. And they're usually very cooperative about it, as long as your track record is good. So
yeah, definitely. Rosalie says she just got her top-rated seller. Congratulations! And now she has to get in the Comma Club. You can do it, Rosalie. And that's her goal. So I expect to see you in the Comma Club by the end of July, Rosalie. You can do it. Rebecca, wow, first sale. You got your first sale, Rebecca? Is that what she's saying? I'm not following.
Something to also say about when you should get a store. At some point, I don't know if you should be able to Google it, but eBay has a little calculator type of thing where you can put in how many listings you do, what your average sale price is, this, that, and the other, and it'll tell you whether you're ready for a store and what level, and it'll kind of do the math for you. I think if you Google it, it should pop up. I don't know I can't remember how to get to it. It's been so long, but I know they don't have time to have that.
the question was regarding what Jennifer said, because Jennifer said that she upgraded to a store after her first sale, and she was given a higher limit. That may have been because she had I don't know if Jennifer, did you have a really established buyer account already?
I started mine. I jumped. I just jumped with both, blind, both feet. I went and I opened up the store. I started selling internationally. I didn't even know what I was doing, but I just jumped in both feet. I've never had or run across a selling limit, and I did not have a established buying account either. So I guess I don't know what the criteria is there. Some people have selling limits and some people don't. Like I've said, I've been on eBay since 2007 and I have yet to run across a selling limit of any kind, whether it be listing or money amount or whatever.
Yeah, I don't, like most people talk about that they can see what their numbers are. My account's never had that, but then
Yeah.
my account's been there since not 99, I think, or it's been there a long time.
Yeah, mine's, I've never seen that either. You know, I never understood why everybody had these selling limits, and I was like, where are you finding this? And my account never shows that.
I was told by, I forget who, but they told me that everyone has that. In eBay standards, everyone does have a limit. It just, we have never gotten to the point of what eBay has established as our limit. eBay is not showing us our limit, but if we ever were to go too fast and hit that ceiling, we would notice. But an eBay may continue to raise our limit because of our history that we have without us even knowing it. So we may never get to the point of really, you know, as long as we do what we should and follow best practices and be good sellers, eBay's probably never going to say, oh, that's it, you're cut off. That's all you can list right now, because of the established, you know, thing. Yeah, I don't know, because I know that there was a seller in the one Facebook group that she wasn't selling for very long. She had been buying for probably at least a year, but she went ahead and listed some things for sale. She sold on Etsy, so she decided to expand to eBay, and she got gung-ho, and she got the store, and she got the basic store, but then all of a sudden she's like, how come they won't let me list all my items that I want to list? And they were limiting her, and that may be something newer that they're doing with the newer accounts and newer sellers than they do with those that have been on longer. I don't know.
Yeah, probably so.
I know that any of the people I've talked to that have older accounts, they have no idea what I'm talking about when I tell them about because I can see it say I can list this many items, I can have this many more this month, and it gives me a dollar amount. When I talk to my buddy who got me into eBay, and he has an account from way back in the day, he has no idea what I'm talking about. And one other caveat to that is eBay is kind of glitchy when it comes to selling limits. I know after I've been selling for 2 or 3 years, I was top-rated power seller and all this. And on one of the Facebook groups, a new seller that had been selling for a month and a half actually had like triple the selling limit I did as a top-rated power seller that had been selling for 2.5 years. So it just kind of random.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I don't know what the criteria is, because even new sellers, some new sellers that I've known from the Facebook groups, you know, they don't have the selling limits and they're brand new, you know, so I don't know how they're figuring that out. All right, so we're gonna call it a show because we've been on here. It's already 8:30. We're gonna be doing more of these. We're gonna get, you know, again, sellers just like you. We're gonna be pulling you from the Facebook groups or from you leaving a comment. You're gonna see a message from me. If you want to be on the show, you know, send me a message at my Facebook. In my Facebook fan page, Just Ask Gladys, or on my regular profile, Gladys Ramos on Facebook, or you can email me at justaskgladys @gmail.com. After the show for a bit, you wanna hop on the show for a bit after a bit. Oh my God, what am I saying? I can't. You wanna hop on the show? Okay. All right. I'll send you the link, Joe. I'll send it to you on Facebook because I can't put it on here. It won't let me. Rosalie says thank you so much for love. Thank you so much. Love your videos. Well, thank you, Rosalie. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Russ for coming on here at almost at a last minute kind of thing, and to Kara for allowing us to show her and be on live for the first time ever. It's always a pleasure to talk to Kara, and to my co-host over here, Mrs. Lovely Mary, for putting up with my craziness sometimes. And to you guys who tuned in and continue to watch the videos and stuff and ask the questions and stuff. And, you know, I'd love to see all of you, you know, make the Comic Club. So keep pushing those sales, keep doing what you're doing, you know, keep learning, and just remember, you know, you can't deposit excuses. So stop with the excuses and start doing what you need to be doing to make that money, because I want everybody paying their rent and bills just from selling on eBay. You know, and then just keep going from, you know, growing from there. So we're going to do another show. Going to see if I can squeeze one in next week. I'm going to finalize a date, a day to do them, because we've been doing them kind of sporadic. So I'm just going to sit down with Mary and figure out what day works for both of us, so that when we do the shows, you know, it's on a set day, you know, Monday or Tuesday or whatever. So it'll be easier for both of us. And Teresa, I want to get you on the show, so we're going to talk again. I'm still waiting for Kim to get on here, and who else was it, Mary, that we wanted to get on here? Kim.
Oh, Alana.
Who?
Alana.
Oh yes, Alana. Yes, definitely. Because those are 3 stories that I from real sellers that I want you guys to really listen to and hear. So again, thank you for showing up. Thank you for listening, and we will see you on Facebook somewhere. Bye, everybody.